Hey, what's going on? And so, a question that I wanted to answer a lot, maybe a little bit of information about that I've gotten a lot lately is what is longevity training? So, longevity training is really this kind of next evolution in the field of physical development. As any evolution is, it's just a shift from what lied before it. If we look back, the field of physical development is the oldest concept really out there, but it's somewhat kind of young as an industry, weirdly enough. So as an industry, it really gets going in the 70s with commercial health clubs. I know Jack LaLanne opened his first health clubs back in the 30s, but they really get going as health clubs rather than the small private gyms that were common for specific purposes like boxing and bodybuilding and powerlifting. And these big gyms started popping up in the 80s and the 70s, particularly in the 80s after Bally's US Swim and Fitness put momentum through the marketing and stuff like that after I believe they bought out or they licensed a lot of the pre-existing Lane's health clubs. So then as time went on, we as professionals in the movement sciences, we started to realize that the goals of that fitness industry are not so congruent with the goals of the average American. And so a shift is coming. And well, it's not coming. It started a while back, actually, but now we just kind of tacked a name onto it because, when it's compared to the current fitness paradigm, fitness right now is still sort of a subcomponent of bodybuilding as a sport or as an art, maybe is a better word for it, and the beauty industry. They're all purely focused on aesthetics, and then therefore, the focus is put on areas of just on the two areas of body fat and muscle mass, which not either one necessarily is really a strong indicator beyond a certain range of that metric of functional health. And so, while they're not all bad, they lack the nuance needed to tell the story of functional health for a person for a complete lifetime. And then if we compare it to the other part of fitness that is kind of merged in there, which is, I think a little bit better part is the strength and conditioning part or the performance part that creeped in from athletics. Performance training is functional in its core values. However, it's very reliant on the barbell sports. And the barbell sports are great as a hobby, but not still aren't necessarily the best thing for your body in the long-term function of it. And so the main difference between strength and conditioning and longevity is that strength and conditioning relies on a system that, we talked about the barbell sports, but it's also very seasonal in its approach, as peak performance has to be attained at the end of a season. You're training for the state championships, to be strongest and fastest and all that stuff during the state championships. Whereas longevity demands a system that, while a lot of other concepts in strength conditioning and performance training are the same, the season for longevity training is for life, not the state championship. And so, we might want to make those shifts to a longer time frame or more of an undulating time frame in the longevity, in the longevity training space, which, of course, longevity training is also a bigger part of another whole concept of longevity, of a longevity approach towards health all the way around. Longevity training is just the exercise portion. So within that exercise portion, also the barbell may have to take a backseat to, calisthenics and bands and other forms of functional training that we might have out there, rather than focusing on barbells and even more so on machines, and stuff like that. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of, maybe a little bit of an idea of how this sort of approach may be helpful for you. If you want to get more into it, then go ahead and join our longevity health and pain avoidance. So if you want to get more into this and maybe take some of our courses, get to know our programs better, then go ahead and join the RootHealth Institute for free at the link below. Thanks a lot.